It's Thursday, December 4th. Today, new parking plan for Granite Curling Club. Why Winnipeg's mayor says they don't need the club's consent to move forward. On the rise, how much more a new report says the average Canadian family will spend on groceries next year. And later, marking a milestone, the Ontario tree farmer still hard at work after 100 years. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next 3 hours to cover, including we're going to get an update on RSV and immunization changes for infants. We're going to find out a little bit more from Shared Health. Also, food prices are on the rise for 2026. We're going to find out exactly what that'll mean to the average family. But the weather, it was cold again this morning.
It sure was. But Rochelle, the good news is it's a bit of a misnomer as to what's ahead. It is frigid to start, but it's not going to be staying that way. We're actually finally back to more seasonal temperatures later on today, but you can't tell by looking at this. That's you can't really predict that we are going to be actually seeing some decent temperatures because it is very chilly, to your point, Rochelle. Minus 18 degrees. I wish it was plus 18, I tell you. Wind chill feeling more like minus 29. Pretty cloudy to kick us off, and those winds really driving up that wind chill factor out of the south at 27, gusting at times to 37 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 73%. So yes, we're starting off a good amount of cloud coverage, and we also are tracking another low pressure system. You can sort of start to see it pushing over the western border there and bringing already some flurry activity to areas of southwestern Manitoba like Brandon and Neepawa this morning. We too will be joining a little later on today. So our Futurecast gives a clearer picture. There's that system there. Another weak clipper, similar to what we saw a couple days ago. Couple centimeters of light snow is expected, but as we push through the Futurecast, it clips on by really quickly, likely to taper off likely later on this afternoon, potentially lingering overnight, but it looks like the remnants there will be coming in the late afternoon. While northern Manitoba, you two have a slight chance of some flurry activity today. Meanwhile, these sparse systems over here, those will push into the northeast overnight, bringing a good chance of some snowfall to that neck of the woods like Churchill and Thompson. In terms of our temperatures, I mentioned we are going to be heating up. That's the good news. Minus 7 degrees, that is a typical high. That is a celebration considering how chilly it's been. And not a lot of deviation overnight at minus 13. And then tomorrow not too shabby, but likely some snowfall continuing with a high of minus 11.
Thank you, Catherine. There's a new twist in the ongoing Granite Curling Club saga. Manitoba's municipal board says the city has to come up with an adequate parking plan the curling club agrees with before an affordable housing complex can be built on the lot. But Winnipeg's mayor says the city doesn't need the club's consent. A year ago, City Council gave the go-ahead for an 11-story housing development. Granite Curling Club's been fighting the decision ever since because the location is its parking lot. The lot is owned by the city, and Granite Curling Club is leasing it from the city. A city report says the province's municipal board isn't legally binding and can only make recommendations on the proposed zoning bylaws.
The legal team has done their analysis on the municipal board and this ruling that they made, and has made the determination that the municipal board went beyond its scope. And so what we have before us today is a decision that we have to make.
The city's report is suggesting the city negotiate a new long-term lease with the curling club, one that includes an expanded area and dedicated on-site parking options. However, the mayor says their lease actually expired 7 years ago, and he says the parking issue should be dealt with through the lease renewal.
The municipal board recommendation, all it added was a condition that the city actually had to work with the Granite. So we were hoping the city would do that, but now they're taking this bizarre position that they can just ignore the municipal board.
The curling club says they're exploring all available options, including a potential legal battle, but they're hoping they can reach a deal. The reported motion for the new plan will be discussed at the next Executive Policy Committee hearing on December 9th. Any final decision will have to be voted on by the entire City Council. Food is going to cost more next year. Canada's food price report for 2026 is put out by Dalhousie's Agri-Food Analytics Lab. It predicts an average family of 4 will spend more than $17,000 on food next year. That's almost $1,000 more compared to 2025. The report also says 1/4 of households in Canada are considered food insecure. According to the report, some of the factors driving up food prices this year are the trade war, the end of Ottawa's tax holiday, and the soaring cost for beef. The report also expects chicken prices will go up substantially next year. Pilots at Air Transat have voted to go on strike if a deal can't be reached with the airline. The Airline Pilots Association says that pilots voted 99% in favor of a strike. Contract talks began back in January. A 21-day cooling off period ends on December 10th. At that point, the airline's 700 pilots can walk off the job or management can impose a lockout. Air Transat has struggled amid stiff competition for vacation destinations and a large debt burden. It's also dealing with engine recalls that have grounded 4 of its 43 planes. A warning to those living in Niverville: keep your pets away from dead birds. Dozens of dead geese were found frozen to the ice on a town retention pond. And a federal biologist says that die-off is confirmed to be avian flu. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports, it's just the latest incident since October. And a warning, the video you're about to see is graphic in nature.
It's pretty crazy to see this many dead birds out on the pond here.
Niverville resident Mason Goulet says seeing so many dead geese when he came home from work on Tuesday was shocking.
Over the past couple of weeks, the numbers have been going up more and more. So you come home yesterday and there was actually one dead on right on our deck there.
Goulet says this latest die-off is the largest he has seen since October, when he started to notice more dead birds around. Take a look at the pond behind his house. He suspects avian flu may be to blame.
There's now about 30 or 40 as of the past couple of days here, so it's spreading pretty quickly now.
And that suspicion was confirmed Wednesday by a federal biologist. Frank Baldwin with the Canadian Wildlife Service says these geese died due to the current strain of avian influenza virus.
Specifically, it's associated with the high pathogenicity strain of the virus. So that's been confirmed through the provincial vet lab.
Baldwin says parts of southern Manitoba have been hit hard by the virus, and he says officials have been picking up birds who have died from avian flu in Niverville since mid-October. He says it doesn't take much for the virus to spread.
Really what's happening is they mingle with ducks, and then when we get cold weather, they get highly concentrated, and the virus moves through the population very quickly.
Hannah Wallace studies infectious diseases like avian influenza at the University of Manitoba Kindrachuk Lab. She says the disease has been deadly for birds over the last 4 years.
Geese are a natural reservoir for influenza, so they do get infected. That's not surprising, but it is a little bit surprising to see so many fatalities at one time.
The Manitoba Wildlife Branch told CTV News the department has tested about 726 geese this year, and 54 geese have tested positive. Wallace says there is low risk to humans, but pets need to be kept away from dead birds. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The town of Niverville didn't respond to our request for an interview. The province encourages you to contact its tip line if you come across deceased geese. The number is 1-800-782-0076. A Winnipeg hazmat team was on scene for nearly 4 hours after getting multiple reports of an ammonia leak at a PepsiCo building. Police taped off PepsiCo's Ellis Avenue location Wednesday afternoon as emergency crews entered the industrial building. The city tells CTV News crews arrived just after 1 p.m. Crews were on scene containing the leak and securing the site until nearly 5 p.m. As a precaution, nearby buildings were also evacuated. No injuries were reported. CTV News reached out to PepsiCo about the leak, but we have not yet heard back. A city councillor is hoping Winnipeggers experiencing homelessness might one day be able to set up camp in a designated support area. Councillor Cindy Gilroy's motion asks the public service to identify possible locations and costs for a site as early as this spring. It would have garbage bins, portable washrooms, modest cleaning services, and on-site outreach staff to help connect people with social services or more permanent housing. The motion is partly in response to the city's new bylaw prohibiting encampments near areas such as parks and playgrounds. Councillors will consider the motion next week. The federal government is in the process of sending retirement incentive letters to almost 70,000 employees in a push to shrink the public sector. The government is using a voluntary early retirement program to try and boost the rate of attrition without cutting the jobs of younger employees. The letter says further details about the program's requirements, timelines, and how employees can express interest will be released. If you have even been outside for a second or two, you know how cold it is. Most people are wearing jackets and trying to stay warm, but not everyone. That's one of the leaders from Wawanesa Insurance being submerged in a dunk tank. This isn't a polar bear challenge. The company executives pledged they would do a dunk tank Wednesday if employees could help them meet their United Way campaign goal. And since they're going into the freezing cold water, the workers clearly delivered.
This is just a moment for us to demonstrate how Winnipeg organizations care so much about being here for one another, and Wawanesa proved that today.
Wawanesa says it achieved its highest ever employee participation rate, and with the company dollar matching, more than $1.6 million is being donated to United Way to support its funded agencies across Canada. Here's a look now what's happening in traffic along Portage at Polo Park. It looks like things are moving well starting off this Thursday morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, text them to us, please, at 10400. Let's go out to the rooftop now where our Catherine Dow is live this morning. It is a frigid start to the day, but not for long.
No, that's the good news, Rochelle. But the bad news, it is quite chilly out here. In fact, I should be wearing a toque and kind of demonstrating, modeling for you just how nasty it feels. To the tune of -17, that wind chill, though, making it feel more like -28. It feels worse than yesterday, even though I believe we're starting off on a warmer note. And I think that can be attributed to those very strong southerly winds at 30, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Sorry. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 77%. My hair is on my betrayal list today. Okay, so starting to the north and working our way down, there's about a 30% chance of some flurry activity from basically all of northern Manitoba. Areas in the extreme west of that region dealing with a couple flurries to kick off the day. But as that system pushes to the south, that will taper off, leaving behind decent temperatures in the mid-minus teens in the northwest, a little bit cooler in the northeast, and those wind chill values are quite fierce, not as bad as yesterday, but feeling similar to about -30. For us here in southern Manitoba, low pressure system, another one, bringing a good chance of some light snow, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth, but it'll be decently mild, -7 degrees expected in Winnipeg. We're taking a break. Stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
A warning about this next story. It may not be appropriate for all viewers. An alleged indecent act outside a Winnipeg Catholic school has left some staff and parents on edge. St. Ignatius School, which is on the corner of Harrow Street and Cordon Avenue, sent an email to Guardians saying that a parent observed a man sitting in a vehicle parked in the school zone engaging in inappropriate behavior. The school principal tells CTV News the parent who witnessed the incident recorded a video. They believe it shows a lone individual in a photo radar van engaging in a lewd act. CTV News has seen a short video of the alleged incident. In it, a person is not visible and an up and down motion appears on screen. The principal says the incident is disturbing and it is clear in her mind what is happening in the video. The principal says police were called, they spoke to the individual, and a report was filed. She says as a result of this, staff at the school reviewed all of their safety protocols. A statement from the Winnipeg Police Service to CTV News says, on December 1st, 2025 at 11:56 a.m., Winnipeg Police responded to a report of a male allegedly committing an indecent act in a vehicle near the 200 block of Harrow Street, close to a local school. Officers attended and spoke with all involved parties. An investigation was undertaken, including a review of video footage of the incident. The allegation was not substantiated. In response to this, the principal says she has the utmost trust in the Winnipeg Police Service. Winnipeg's mayor is taking another step towards creating the city's 4th emergency services branch. It would be called the Winnipeg Community Crisis Response Service and be dedicated to mental health crisis and well-being checks. The idea is to relieve some of the pressure on the other 3 branches. The mayor says often the increasing number of mental health related calls don't require police, fire, or paramedics. Scott Gillingham has now submitted a motion which would allow his office to work with a consulting firm on the nuances of the plan at a cost of about $228,000.
I don't have a date yet as far as when any program could be rolled out, but it's important that we look at this. Other cities are doing this. We want to get people the help that they need in mental health calls, and we want to alleviate some of the calls that police, fire, and paramedics are taking.
The mayor's office says well-being checks now make up the #1 call for service for the police, totaling more than 21,000 calls last year. The Executive Policy Committee is expected to discuss the motion Tuesday. The search for Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 will resume later this month. The search will run for 55 days starting December 30th. It's being run by a U.S. company called Ocean Infinity. The firm has a no-fine, no-fee agreement with the Malaysian government. This means they only get paid if the wreckage is found. MH370 disappeared in March 2014 while flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Despite Donald Trump's push to buy American, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, is set to spend millions of dollars on a fleet of armored vehicles made by a Canadian defense manufacturer. The rush order with Canadian firm Rochelle came in late last month and is worth the equivalent of 10 million Canadian dollars. CTV's Rachel Ayalo has been digging into the contract and has the details.
20 armored vehicles made by this Brampton-based defense manufacturer are set to be delivered to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement before the end of the year. According to U.S. procurement documents, Rochelle is uniquely positioned to deliver what ICE agents require within the necessary time frame and confirmed immediate availability of vehicles that fully meet ICE specifications. Asked if the federal government has any concerns about the deal with the U.S. department accused of abusing human rights as it deploys U.S. President Donald Trump's mass deportation efforts, the foreign minister didn't say.
The government is not involved in the transaction. We have not received any questions or permit requests regarding this transaction. And I will continue to reiterate that Canada and the United States have a strong bilateral relationship with an open line of communication in which, if necessary, I will raise the issues with Secretary Rubio.
Rochelle's made-in-Canada armored vehicles have been sent to the front lines in Ukraine. And while this contract comes despite Trump's America First edict, the Canadian company did set up an American factory last year, and it remains unclear where the specific emergency response vehicles ICE has ordered are originating.
CTV News asked Rochelle and the ICE office responsible for procurement for comment. Neither responded by deadline. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
You won't need a ticket for this traveling show. CPKC's annual holiday train rolled through Transcona Wednesday night. Winnipeg families braved the cold to see the lights and watch performers Jade Eagleson and Tegan Gase. After Winnipeg, the train moved on down the tracks for a show in Portage la Prairie. If you missed the train, you still have a few more opportunities to check out a Manitoba show. The holiday train's next stops are Friday in Neepawa, Minnedosa, and Shoal Lake.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following rush hours, the northbound curb lane on St. Anne's Road will be closed between Lavallée to Worthington. On Maryland, the southbound median and middle lanes will be closed between Ellis and St. Matthews. And the westbound curb lane on Springfield Road will be closed from Raleigh to Rothesay. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Certainly a frigid start to your Thursday. It's minus 17 degrees out there with that wind chill. It feels more like minus 28. And much of that can be attributed to those very strong southerly winds at 30, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour under those cloudy skies. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 77%. Those winds are strong throughout southern Manitoba. They are expected to let up later on today, bringing with them some warmer temperatures, but we're certainly starting off on a cooler note. It's also a snowy one in Brandon and Dauphin, minus 11 degrees as those flakes fly. For us here in more central regions, minus 13 degrees in Portage la Prairie and Morden and Winkler. Quite chilly in Winnipeg at minus 17 degrees. But of course, we know with the wind chill here in Winnipeg, it's making it feel more like minus 30. And in the north, with those very chilly temps, it's feeling upwards of minus 35, even minus 40 in certain areas. So a good amount of cloud coverage to kick us off. And this is the system here that's bringing that snowfall snowfall to areas of southwestern Manitoba. It will be spreading to us later on today. In fact, the flakes could be flying as the kids get to class, with temperatures quite chilly at -16 degrees. But to put that into perspective, that was our high yesterday, and finally we're getting back to more typical values for this time of year. It'll be heating up by lunch at -12 and getting even warmer from there at -9, with that light snow expected throughout the day. Another 2 to 4 centimeters worth is expected, but because it's so light, the snowpack isn't expected to be that great, similar to what we saw just a couple days ago. In fact, the system that's bringing that precipitation is another kind of weak clipper pushing in from the west. So we've been here before. Overnight, those flurries expected to taper off, temperatures dipping down to -13. Those winds I should mention that are so strong this morning will be tapering off into the afternoon and staying that way overnight. And then into tomorrow, decent, still a bit chilly at -11 with more snowfall expected. And then a sunny weekend, but not a very warm one, with a high of -16 on Saturday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Dwayne snapped this lovely shot in Island Lake. Absolutely stunning. Thanks for submitting, and submit yours, won't you, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. We're building another toy mountain, and you can help. CTV News Winnipeg and our friends from 103.1 Virgin Radio and Bounce 99.9 will be collecting new unwrapped toys on Friday and Saturday at CF Polo Park. You can find us on the second floor overlooking Centre Court. Toy Mountain donations can also be made at all Scotiabank, IKEA, Toys R Us locations and at select Winnipeg Fire Paramedic stations. You can find a full list of locations on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The holiday season is a special time for many, but this is a particularly meaningful year for one Eastern Ontario Christmas tree farmer. Pud Johnson is marking a milestone. He's now 100 years old. And as CTV's Dave Charbonneau shows us, he's still hard at work at the family business he started more than 7 decades ago.
At Johnson Brothers Tree Farm near Kemptville, Ontario, owner Pud Johnson is still moving through the fields just as he has for 73 seasons.
I love the trees, I love the outdoors, the fresh air, and the exercise is healthful.
At 100 years old, Johnston is out here most days tending to the trees he has spent a lifetime growing.
Well, I stay fit, I watch my diet, I keep my weight down, I get adequate sleep, and I can still do a little work, about 3 or 4 hours a day.
The family business first opened in 1952. Now, decades later, his son Kerry works on the farm, watching his father continue the work he loves.
I think that it's almost impossible to believe. You know, there are no old people working the same way that my father is.
And as generations of families return to the farm each year, Kerry says they have watched those customers grow up.
We have children who are now adults that come here that remember, you know, Dad and Mom and the activity, but now they have children. And that's quite a thing that, you know, we have that longevity.
We've been married and together for 60 years. Yeah, a long time. Yes, I think we should cut this one down for our family room.
According to his wife Sheila, the trees are what keep him moving every day.
I think he needs his trees. He needs to come out and get the exercise. Probably needs to be a little, have some alone time.
And even at 100 years old, retirement still seems to be more of a joke than a plan.
When are you going to retire?
This year.
Yeah?
I think I've retired already.
For now, Pud Johnson is happy right where he's always been, among the trees for another year of Christmas memories. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Bundle up if heading outside, because it is a chilly start to your Thursday. -17 degrees, that wind chill making it feel more like -28. Good amount of cloud coverage, strong southerly winds at 30, gusting at times to 42 clicks. Pressure falling, humidity at 77%. So yes, a good amount of cloud coverage, and with it, we are also tracking another low pressure system similar to what we saw a couple days ago. It's already arrived in the southwest. Some flurries are falling this morning in Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin. For us here, we too will be joined by that that system, a very weak clipper. So bringing some light snow, periods of light snow. Environment and Climate Change Canada estimates about 2 to 4 centimeters worth could fall, but because it's so light, likely not a lot of it will be sticking around. Temperatures also seasonal, which we haven't been able to say in a couple of days. It's been quite frosty. Today, we're getting to -7 degrees with those very strong southerly winds at 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, but they do shift and ease into the afternoon. They'll be coming out of the northwest, where they will remain overnight and at 20 kilometers per hour, so still a little bit breezy. Temperatures dipping down to -13 degrees. However, that wind chill will be in effect again. It'll feel more like -25, -30 degrees at times. Tomorrow, that temperature starts to inch back down again. A high of -11 degrees with some northwesterly winds persisting and a chance of some more light snow headed our way. From there, we have a sunny but cool weekend ahead. -16 degrees on Saturday under those clear sunny skies. It gets quite uncomfortable overnight at -27, and then Sunday's even chillier with clear sunny skies and a high of -19.
A Manitoba pharmacist has pled guilty to professional misconduct over an inappropriate relationship with a vulnerable patient. The complaints center around Michael Watts, who was working as a manager at Brothers Pharmacy on Selkirk Avenue at the time. He was accused of entering into an inappropriate relationship with a vulnerable patient between February 2022 and June 2022, as well as between 2021 and 2022. Watts pled guilty in June and was ordered to pay a $7,500 fine, along with another $15,000 for the cost of the investigation and hearing. Watts now works at a pharmacy in Thompson and told CTV News his lawyer has advised him to give no comment. Brothers Pharmacy, now known as Northway Pharmacy Brothers, tells CTV it hasn't had a professional relationship with Watts in more than 3 years. Thousands of needles and hundreds of weapons, pipes, and drug bags have been collected from city parks in and around the downtown area since spring. That's according to a new report from the Public Service. It says since April, a crew assigned to clean up 16 sites found more than 6,300 needles, 177 weapons, mostly knives, nearly 1,300 pipes, and more than 600 drug baggies. The most needle-ridden site was Fort Douglas Park, followed by Assiniboine Riverwalk and Central Park. The report says the cleanup project was a success and is expected to continue until at least 2028. A warning before this next story, the details may be disturbing for some viewers. A Calgary high school student is under investigation, accused of using AI to generate sexually explicit images of teen girls, some of them as young as 14. CTV's Kathy Lee reports.
The photos online may not always be real, and in the age of artificial intelligence, the consequences for teens caught in digitally fabricated images can be devastating.
We need people to understand that this is not a joke, it's not a prank.
The stark warning after sexually explicit AI images of young girls from several high schools in the Calgary area were investigated by police. A Calgary teenage boy now faces multiple charges for making, possessing, and distributing child sexual abuse and exploitation materials and criminal harassment.
We were all high school age students. Under 18, I would say safe to assume between 14, 15 and up.
Investigators searched the home of the 17-year-old student last month, seizing 2 phones, a tablet and a laptop. They say he used real photos loaded onto an AI app that created fake sexualized images with the victims' faces and shared them online.
I think it's weird making something of what it's not.
It's kind of silly. I think it impedes people's privacy.
The disturbing incident not surprising for some child advocacy groups who say it's a growing trend.
It started about 2-3 years ago with the public release of a number of new AI tools. I think more accountability at the App Store level from these companies is really important.
People educating parents who in turn really should be the ones educating their kids.
Police aren't naming any of the schools involved because it might identify the accused or the victims. Police say the teen was released on numerous court-ordered conditions, including no contact with anyone under 16 years of age unless through school or work. The suspect will be in court in January. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
The city of San Francisco has filed a lawsuit against some of America's top food manufacturers, arguing ultra-processed food is responsible for a public health crisis.
Like the tobacco industry, they knew their products make people very sick, but hid the truth from the public, profited from untold billions, and left Americans to deal with the consequences.
10 companies are named in the lawsuit, including PepsiCo, Kraft, Heinz Company, General Mills, and Kellogg. Ultra-processed foods include candy, chips, processed meats, sodas, and other foods that the city's attorney says is designed to stimulate cravings and encourage overconsumption. The lawsuit seeks a court order preventing the companies from deceptive marketing and financial penalties to help local governments with health care costs. None of the companies named in the suit immediately responded to requests for comment. Hudson's Bay has chosen the new owners of the royal charter that created the company more than 350 years ago, and part of the archive is coming to Winnipeg. The Thompson and Weston families emerged with an uncontested $18 million bid for the 1670 document and will donate it to a group of 4 museums. The families plan to donate the charter immediately and permanently to the Archives of Manitoba, the Manitoba Museum, the Canadian Museum of History in Gatineau, Quebec, and the Royal Ontario Museum. They will also donate another $5 million to support the charter's preservation and help maintain public access to the document. The purchase is subject to court approval as part of the Hudson's Bay insolvency proceedings. Here's what's happening now outside at Main and Broadway. Looks like things have picked up over here, as you can see, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems, please let us know. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.21. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.20, and the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
You'll notice I have put on my toque since our last time together up here on the rooftop because it is chilly. In fact, I should be wearing my mitts and demonstrating just how cold it is. You need to dress for these conditions, folks, because it's minus 17 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like minus 28. Decently cloudy. Some strong winds are certainly making it feel a lot icier out of the south, rather, at 30, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity at 77%. So it might not seem like it, but temperatures are actually going to be a lot more milder than what we've been seeing the last couple of days. Much of the south will be at seasonal values. For us here in Winnipeg, that's minus 7. These strong southerly winds will persist through most of the morning and add in some light snowfall. It's already falling to the southwest. That system will move further into our neck of the woods later on this morning. However, the winds do taper into the afternoon. About 2 to 4 centimeters of small snow, or light snow, not small snow, is expected, and potentially lasting overnight. Temperatures dipping down to minus 16 degrees in Winnipeg. That wind chill will be quite chilly, and into tomorrow, rather, we're going to be dealing with slightly more light snow and temperatures creeping back up again, a high of minus 11. All right, let's check in with CTV's Ainsley McPhail. Ainsley, where do we find you this morning?
It really is every kid's dream here in Great Falls. Melissa Bourgeois joins us to tell us and show us this really spectacular space. So tell us about the Snowflake Bazaar, and how did it all start 9 years ago?
The Snowflake Bazaar got started because there was a similar event in another rural community, and I had kids and thought it would be a great event to have out here for people who, maybe can't travel an hour or 2 hours to get to, something like that. So being a recipient of gifts in the past from kids, it was really awesome to be able to meet with some organizers who were willing to come out and show us step by step how to get started and put one together. And we started really small in a local church, and just as we've grown, we now can encompass the Great Falls Hall, which is great because it's very central for all of our surrounding communities.
You're going to need another hall just to fit all these toys in it. I can't believe it. Over 30,000 toys. How does it all work for the kids?
They come on down, and we encourage them to have a shopping list in place of who they're shopping for, and they come with their money, and if they're young and need a helper, we have a helper to help them carry their bags or to offer ideas. And if they're confident in their shopping abilities, they can shop on their own. And we do a pay-as-you-go, so we have people strategically placed throughout the venue with their little money aprons, and as they buy an item, they pay for it. So once it goes in their bag, they know that that's been paid for, and they can carry on shopping for the next item.
Well, it teaches them a lot too.
Yes, it does. They're learning independent decision making and a little bit about budgeting and the value of money, how fast it can disappear if you only have so much in a big list. So it gives them a lot of little skills to look forward to, and it teaches them how to be good gift givers.
I love that. I like the part about budgeting for us adults because you only have so much money when you go to the real malls. So I'm going to have to take some notes from the folks here in Great Falls. Thank you.
Deck the halls for your chance to win and be featured on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season and we want to see how you've decorated for the holidays. That could help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form and submit some pictures. A seasonal celebration of lights is underway in northern Italy. This is in a town called Brixton. They're celebrating 10 years of annual light shows with a new collaboration between UNICEF and a local musician. The new show is called Oops and takes place inside the region's Bishop's Palace. It shows a character journeying through the city before finding its way home. There's also a special market outside. The event runs until the new year. On the early markets, the Dow Jones is up, the Nasdaq is slightly down, S&P index is flat, the loonie is down, sitting around 71.60 cents U.S. The Hang Seng is rising 175 points, and the Nikkei is up over 1,000 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. An officer has been cleared of wrongdoing in the shooting of a woman on the Trans-Canada Highway this spring. The incident happened May 12th near Carberry. The Independent Investigation Unit, citing interviews with a number of witnesses and officers, found the 54-year-old woman was walking among traffic and climbing onto vehicles and slashing them with a knife. The report says she was shot 4 times after sprinting towards a responding officer still carrying the knife. She later told the IIU the officer was in the right and said she was, quote, a threat to society. An investigation into a cybersecurity incident that happened a year ago at Pembina Trails School Division has wrapped up. It found the personal information of students and staff from as far back as 1999 could potentially have been put on the dark web. That information could include names, social insurance numbers, and personal health information. The division was formed in 2002, so if you were a student or staff member at a school which is now part of the division, you could be impacted. However, the division says the overwhelming majority of files found during its deep dive are from 2015 and later. The division says the cyber incident was resolved January 27th and its system is secure. More information, including how to find out if you've been impacted, can be found at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. One of Canada's largest airlines has hit major turbulence with its pilots. The union representing them saying its members have voted overwhelmingly to strike, and that could happen as soon as next Wednesday, right before the holiday travel rush. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
There may soon be fewer Air Transat flights on the runway. This time next week, it's roughly 700 unionized pilots will be in a strike position.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated. Other airlines like Air Canada and WestJet are flying full plane for the holidays.
This holiday, millions of people are expected to move through Canadian airports, and many will be boarding Air Transat flights. The timing, experts say, puts pressure on an airline already struggling financially.
They're going to push Transat to the wall. Transat's going to realize that the loss of revenue and the impact on market share will be such that paying the pilots would be the least of the least worry for Transat.
The strike threat comes nearly a year after talks began. The pilots are pushing for pay raises, job security, and better working conditions. In a statement, the union says, "Let us be clear, we do not want to strike. However, after nearly a year of slow bargaining and little progress, we urge management to utilize the remaining time and negotiate seriously to avoid operational and flight disruptions." The airline says it's confident an agreement can be reached. Although this is a common step in the collective bargaining process and does not mean that a strike will be initiated, we remain fully committed at the bargaining table and aim to reach a tentative agreement without labor dispute.
97% of these negotiations result in no disruption of labor. So let's hope that they continue to have those conversations in earnest and protect their industry, their employees, and of course the many passengers that are relying on them.
Air Transit says its operations are currently running as normal. Both sides have to give 72 hours notice before either a strike or a lockout.
The Winnipeg Jets ended their 5-game Eastern Road Trip series with a shootout Wednesday night in Montreal. Winnipeg got off the block first with a goal in the first period, but the Habs got it back in the second on a power play. By the end of third, the score was tied up at 2-2, forcing a shootout. The Habs scored, winning 3-2. Winnipeg plays next on home ice this Friday. Puck drop against the Buffalo Sabres is at 6 p.m. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following rush hours, the northbound curb lane on St. Anne's Road will be closed between La Vallée to Worthington. On Maryland, the southbound median and middle lanes will be closed between Ellis and St. Matthews. The westbound curb lane on Springfield Road will be closed from Raleigh to Rothesay. If you have any other traffic tips, please share them with us. It's going to be another cold one today to start off.
Yeah, Rochelle, but the good news is, while yesterday started cold, stayed cold, today we are going to be getting more towards typical December temperatures. So for us here in Winnipeg, that looks like -7 degrees. A far cry from what we're seeing right now. It's -17 out there, and that wind chill feeling more like a frigid -28. It's cloudy, quite breezy with those southerly winds at 30, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Also shaking our camera. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 77%. So yes, a good amount of cloud coverage to start, and in areas of the southwest, a little bit of snowfall. You can see this system here. That's a weak clipper, very similar to what we saw a couple days ago. It's bringing some very light snowfall to southwestern Manitoba, and it'll blanket out into us here in Winnipeg. Meanwhile, to the north, you have a slight chance of getting a taste of a different system. So about a 30% shot of some flurry activity. Warmer temperatures than what you saw yesterday. That's the good news, although still pretty cold in Churchill at -26. And again, that wind chill is quite frigid this morning. But warmer today in Thompson at -16, -19 in Gillam, Island Lake at -14. Northwestern Manitoba, a little bit milder, that slight chance of flurry activity. Likely you'll be dry today before flurries come overnight. -11 degrees in Opaskwayak Cree Nation in the Palm, -12 in Flin Flon, quite chilly in Lynn Lake. Southwestern Manitoba, you're dealing with the snowfall already. That's likely to continue throughout the day, potentially overnight. I'm going to predict it's going to taper off. -5 degrees there across the board. For us here in Winnipeg, we're slightly cooler, as mentioned, at -7. Light snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. Those very strong southerly winds that are already really messing up my hair when I go outside, they're going to be strong throughout the morning, then shift and ease into the afternoon coming out of the northwest. Into northwestern Ontario, a slight chance of some snowfall for you. Temperatures at -9 in Kenora, -11 in Dryden. Overnight, we'll see that snowfall potentially taper off, -13 degrees, but it ramps back up into tomorrow at -11, and then it's sunny and cold into the weekend.
Thanks, Catherine. An Alberta teen has become one of the first pediatric patients for groundbreaking transplant surgery. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, it changes how patients recover.
16-year-old Raiden Delaney has a lot to look forward to now that he has a new kidney.
I get to eat like all the food I want. I get to drink all the fluids I want.
All things possible after having a robot-assisted kidney transplant last month.
Down the remaining arm.
He's one of 2 Canadian teens to undergo this procedure, becoming the first pediatric patients. A relief after 3 years of dialysis.
I got emotional when I called my dad, actually. And just the reaction he gave me just made my heart melt.
This surgery was first performed at the University of Alberta Hospital on 20 adults in the past year. The robotic arms make smaller incisions for a minimally invasive approach.
What that translates to is faster recovery, way less pain, so less pain medication, less narcotic usage, and most importantly, lower wound complications.
That success has led the way for younger patients like Delaney to go under the knife. The recovery for him has been life-changing.
It's like a switch. It was like, it went from me being tired all the time to me wanting to eat, drink.
To see how well he is now and how good he's doing, and to actually get to see him enjoy being a kid, that's tremendous for me.
Dr. Levine says demand for these metal helping hands is growing with awareness.
It feels really good to be able to demonstrate that this is feasible and it works well in this population.
Delaney is already looking forward to next summer, making up for lost time.
I get to swim again. I love swimming because, of course, I'm from Slave Lake, so we have all the swimming in summer.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
While Canada braces for massive retirement and a widening skills shortage, one group offers a solution. Hundreds of thousands of talented people with disabilities are ready to work if given the opportunity. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
This cafe and bakery in downtown Halifax is more than just a job for Heather McNamara. It's her place.
I like to see and talk to other people and get to see the expressions on their faces, how I can make their day more enjoyable.
22 participants from the Prescott group work here.
Pretty standard interview process. However, I do support them and I supply the questions ahead of time and help them through their interviews.
The process has helped employees like Heather thrive.
The unemployment rate is much higher for people who face additional barriers to employment, and that's it doesn't really matter what your disability is. There's a not much greater chance of being unemployed, and really that doesn't make any sense.
Especially when last year Canada's skills gap cost the country $2.6 billion. The Canadian Council on Rehabilitation says hiring inclusively could close that gap. This team agrees.
Persons with disabilities often have a much lower rate of leaving jobs, much more likely to stay in their position, so you have those higher retention rates, and they also then help other staff be more likely to stay in their jobs.
According to the CCRW, 700,000 skills tradespeople are set to retire by 2028, while 740,000 working-age adults with disabilities are unemployed and ready to work. Accessibility advocate Brian George has faced employment issues himself.
I took hotel and restaurant management in college, and when I finished college, we actually moved back to British Columbia. And I applied everywhere I could, and no one would give me a second look.
These days he makes a living in retail, where he says an open-minded employer has helped remove most of those barriers. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back. It's Thursday, December 4th. Today, avian flu alert. Dozens of geese found frozen in a retention pond spark a warning to keep pets away. Plus, grocery costs spike. A new report shows families could pay nearly $1,000 more for food next year. And Icy Dunk Challenge. Sub-zero splashes pay off with a record-breaking fundraising total. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 7:52 in our Community Connection, we're going to tell you about the Shoebox Project. It's really unique because it provides much needed comfort to women who are either experiencing homelessness or are, sort of on the verge of being homeless. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what you could do to support them. They're really looking for help right now, and you can fill up one of those shoe boxes yourself and really make a difference this holiday season. But what really makes a difference for us is the temperature change that is going to happen today.
Yes, and we're speaking about folks experiencing homelessness. These temperatures are very dangerous for them, so happy to report we are getting a little bit of relief in that regard, but certainly we got to get through this morning first. So heading outside, really bundle up, because as you can see, it's chilly, minus 17 degrees. With that wind chill, feels more like minus 28. Overcast to start off and will be the case through the day. Strong winds out of the south at 30, gusting at times to 42 clicks. The barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 77%. So we're in for sort of a repeat of the weather 2 days ago for us here in southern Manitoba. If you can remember, that was mild temperatures, cloudy skies, and some light snow. Here is the culprit. This is another clipper pushing in from the west, bringing that light snowfall, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. It's already over southwestern Manitoba, so snow is already falling in Brandon, Nipawa, Dauphin. There we go. The futurecast that gives us a better sense of this this clipper. In fact, clip is the right word because it moves on really quickly, as you can see. It pushes out likely by early evening. There's a slight chance of some lingering light snowfall through the evening, but for the most part, it'll be cloudy overnight. The north contends also, and it's not even picking up on the radar here, but they have about a 40% chance of some flurry activity through the day. And then that intensifies into tomorrow, especially in the northeast, where a good amount of snowfall is likely coming your way. That same system then pushes down into Winnipeg for tomorrow as well, giving giving us more snowfall, more cloudy skies. And then we clear out nicely for the weekend, as you can see. Lots of sunshine on the way. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's bringing the heat. -16 and -19 on Saturday and Sunday. Again, you get the sunshine, but considering -7 is more a typical high like what we're going to see today, we're far from it. The good news is we get a warm up on Monday along with some more snowfall. Your weather art of the day, 11-year-old Katie drew this incredible. Really nicely done there. I love that beautiful lake. Thanks for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
There's a new twist in the ongoing Granite Curling Club saga. Manitoba's municipal board says the city has to come up with an adequate parking plan the curling club agrees with before an affordable housing complex can be built on the lot. But Winnipeg's mayor says the city doesn't need the club's consent. A year ago, City Council gave the go-ahead for an 11-story housing development. Granite Curling Club's been fighting the decision ever since because the location is its parking lot. The lot is owned by the city, and Granite Curling Club is leasing it from the city. A city report says the province's municipal board isn't legally binding and can only make recommendations on the proposed zoning bylaws.
The legal team has done their analysis on the municipal board and this ruling that they made, and has made the determination that the municipal board went beyond its scope. And so what we have before us today is a decision that we have to make.
The city's report is suggesting the city negotiate a new long-term lease with the curling club, one that includes an expanded area and dedicated on-site parking options. However, the mayor says their lease actually expired 7 years ago. And he says the parking issue should be dealt with through the lease renewal. A warning to those living in Niverville: keep your pets away from dead birds. Dozens of dead geese were found frozen to the ice on a town retention pond, and a federal biologist says that die-off is confirmed to be avian flu. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports, it's just the latest incident since October, and a warning: the video you're about to see is graphic in nature.
It's pretty crazy to see this many dead birds out on the pond here.
Niverville resident Mason Goulet says seeing so many dead geese when he came home from work on Tuesday was shocking.
Over the past couple of weeks, the numbers have been going up more and more. So you come home yesterday and there was actually one dead on right on our deck there.
Goulet says this latest die-off is the largest he has seen since October, when he started to notice more dead birds around. Take a look at the pond behind his house. He suspects avian flu may be to blame.
There's now about 30 or 40 as of the past couple of days here, so it's spreading pretty quickly now.
And that suspicion was confirmed Wednesday by a federal biologist. Frank Baldwin with the Canadian Wildlife Service says these geese died due to the current strain of avian influenza virus.
Specifically, it's associated with the high pathogenicity strain of the virus. So that's been confirmed through the provincial vet lab.
Baldwin says parts of southern Manitoba have been hit hard by the virus, and he says officials have been picking up birds who have died from avian flu in Niverville since mid-October. He says it doesn't take much for the virus to spread.
Really what's happening is they mingle with ducks, and then when we get cold weather, they get highly concentrated, and the virus moves through the population very quickly.
Hannah Wallace studies infectious diseases like avian influenza at the University of Manitoba Kindrachuk Lab. She says the disease has been deadly for birds over the last 4 years.
Geese are a natural reservoir for influenza, so they do get infected. That's not surprising, but it is a little bit surprising to see so many fatalities at one time.
The Manitoba Wildlife Branch told CTV News the department has tested about 726 geese this year, and 54 geese have tested positive. Wallace says there is low risk to humans, but pets need to be kept away from dead birds. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The town of Niverville didn't respond to our request for an interview. The province encourages you to contact its tip line if you come across deceased geese. The number is 1-800-782-0076. A man is recovering in a hospital after being shot through the window of a home. Police say it happened on Syndicate Street in Point Douglas around 7:40 Sunday morning. A 27-year-old man was hit by a bullet fired into the home. Officers on the scene applied a chest seal before he was taken to hospital in unstable condition, where we're told he remains. The suspect or suspects made off in a vehicle before police arrived. Police say it's too early to say whether this was a targeted shooting. Anyone with information is asked to contact Major Crimes or Crime Stoppers. Food is going to cost more next year. Canada's food price report for 2026 is put out by Dalhousie's Agri-Food Analytics Lab. It predicts an average family of 4 will spend more than $17,000 on food next year. That's almost $1,000 more compared to 2025. The report also says 1/4 of households in Canada are considered food insecure. According to the report, some of the factors driving up food prices this year are the trade war, the end of Ottawa's tax holiday, and the soaring cost for beef. The report also expects chicken prices will go up substantially next year. Police in Virginia were called to a liquor store after someone broke in, drank a large amount of booze, and then passed out. The suspect, a very intoxicated raccoon. Take a look. When police arrived at the liquor store, they found the raccoon asleep in the bathroom. It appears the animal had broken into the store, ransacked several shelves, and after sampling the products, went into the bathroom before passing out. The officer took the drunk raccoon to an animal shelter to sober up. Then it was released back into the wild, a little hungover perhaps, but apparently none the worse for wear. Here's a look now at what's going on Osborne Street. Looks like things are moving well here, but we do have a traffic note to share with you. There are flashing lights. They're flashing red in all directions at McPhillips and Redwood. You'll need to treat it as an always stop. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400.
Another merger changing the Canadian banking landscape. Canada's 7th largest bank, EQ, is buying PC Financial from Loblaws. EQB, the company behind digital EQ Bank, is paying $800 million in shares and cash in a deal that will see Loblaw take about a 16% stake in the bank, while EQ will become the exclusive financial partner of the PC Optimum loyalty program. The deal will expand EQ's customer base by about 3.5 million, including more than 2 million active PC MasterCard clients, compared with EQ Bank's customer base of about 600,000. It also adds about $5.8 billion in assets to EQB's existing $138 billion. Meanwhile, EQB missed its quarterly earnings estimate by 23%. Now, we're also getting earnings reports from TD, CIBC, and BMO. Strong results in its capital markets helped CIBC top estimates. It topped analyst estimates now for more than 2 years in a row. Similar story for TD in the capital markets, leading to an EPS of $2.18. A stronger than expected performance in its U.S. sector helped BMO beat estimates with an EPS of $3.28 on an adjusted basis. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Snowflake Bazaar is spectacular, and I know that because I walked in the room. Take a look at this. We are in Great Falls, Manitoba. Over 30,000 items donated by community and businesses. Now, the idea gives the kids the budgeting, the autonomy, and the imagination to gift for the whole family. Nothing is over $3.50, so it's affordable for them, but they have to buy for different people too, so it's giving them those skills early on. And luckily for them as well, they can have it all wrapped up, so it will be a surprise for their friends and family when it gets to them on Christmas morning. There's also a photo booth, a bake sale, an area for the adults in your world too, and even some other stuff too. So we're going to be finding out about that throughout the morning. Stay with us, and back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a cold, chilly start to the day. Catherine.
I've got the big shapeless coat on, Rochelle, and that means, yes, cold temperatures. But the good news is they won't last through the day like they did yesterday. It's minus 16 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like minus 27. It is overcast. The winds are the other main story of the day. Out of the south at 32, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. They will be strong throughout the morning, and they're strong right now, messing up my hair. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 80%. So I will say about 75% of the province is experiencing some form of snowfall or flurry activity right now. I've noticed it's been reported in basically every northern weather reporting station, from the Pod to Thompson to Churchill to as far south as Brandon, Dauphin, even near us in Portage la Prairie. So as you can guess, that means we're likely getting some light snow here in Winnipeg throughout the day. Very similar to what we saw a couple days ago. A clipper, very weak, bringing about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. but that snowpack won't be terribly hefty, so we're not going to be having to do a ton of shoveling. Meanwhile, our temperature is finally back on side of what's seasonal. -7 is what we're looking at in Winnipeg. Some warmer temperatures expected to the southwest of us, while the north has also had some slightly warmer temperatures. Most of them will see highs in the mid-minus teens, but that wind chill is quite fierce this morning, feeling in areas like Churchill and Thompson more like -40. So once again, bundle up if you're heading outside.
Weather brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. From all the dogs, cats, and critters, thank you for your kindness.
It's time now for our question of the day. It's Santa List Day, a day celebrating Santa putting together his list and kids working on their own wish list. So we want to know what's on your Christmas list. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions and include your name so we can feature your response. It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week, we're celebrating Mercury. Mercury is a 9-month-old Fife Canary. He's very friendly, loves to sing loud, and is very curious. Tyler tells us that when Mercury is not flying around the house, he's sitting on shoulders and electronic devices to stay close to his people. Congratulations to his good feathered friend. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so keep them coming, please. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or anybody at petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Here's a look at what's happening outside on McPhillips Street. Looks like things are moving well starting off this Thursday morning. We'll be back after this short break. Good morning. A warning about this next story. It may not be appropriate for all viewers. An alleged indecent act outside a Winnipeg Catholic school has left some staff and parents on edge. St. Ignatius School, which is on the corner of Harrow Street and Cordon Avenue, sent an email to Guardians saying that a parent observed a man sitting in a vehicle parked in the school zone, engaging in inappropriate behavior. The school principal tells CTV News the parent who witnessed the incident recorded a video. They believe it shows a lone individual in a photo radar van engaged in a lewd act. CTV News has seen a short video of the alleged incident. In it, a person is not visible and an up and down motion appears on screen. The principal says the incident is disturbing and it is clear in her mind what is happening in the video. The principal says police were called, they spoke to the individual, and a report was filed. She says as a result of this, staff at the school reviewed all of their safety protocols. A statement from the Winnipeg Police Service to CTV News says on December 1st, 2025 at 11:56 a.m., Winnipeg police responded to a report of a male allegedly committing an indecent act in a vehicle near the 200 block of Harrow Street, close to a local school. Officers attended and spoke with all involved parties. An investigation was undertaken, including a review of video footage of the incident. The allegation was not substantiated. In response to this, the principal says she has the utmost trust in the Winnipeg Police Service. If you have even been outside for a second or two, you know how cold it is. Most people are wearing jackets and trying to stay warm, but not everyone. That's one of the leaders from Wawanesa Insurance being submerged in a dunk tank. This isn't a polar bear challenge. The company executives pledged they would do a dunk tank Wednesday if employees could help them meet their United Way campaign goals. And the workers clearly delivered. More than $1.6 million is being donated to United Way to support its funded agencies across Canada. Here's a look now what's going on at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are moving well here, but there are lights flashing red in all directions at McPhillips and Redwood. So you'll need to treat it as an always stop. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Time now for some entertainment news. The Percy Jackson novels have been adapted into a successful movie and a popular TV series. And now the stage here is set in Winnipeg.
I'm leaving now. I better pack. Katie's took my mom. I'm taking her back. And I'm coming with you.
As you just heard, The Lightning Thief is a musical. And this week, you'll be able to see it at the Manitoba Theatre for Young People. The show follows Percy Jackson, who recently discovered he is the son of a Greek god. Percy and his demigod friends set out on a quest to find Zeus's missing lightning bolt and hopefully prevent a war. The Lightning Thief will be at the Manitoba Theatre for Young People from Friday, December 5th to the 28th. Spotify has unveiled its trends for 2025 for the top songs and artists of the year.
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
Drake was the most streamed artist in Canada, followed by Taylor Swift. Ordinary by Alex Warren was the top song in Canada, while Morgan Wallen's I'm the Problem was the top album. And Bad Bunny was the top global artist for 4th time. And Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars's hit Die With a Smile was the top song. It was streamed more than 1.7 billion times. New footage has been released ahead of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour docu-series and concert film.
We've had so long to prepare for the end of this tour, and we get to play one last show for you here tonight.
The 2 new specials are coming to Disney+. One is a docu-series capturing the making of the tour. It features appearances by Travis Kelce, Ed Sheeran, and Sabrina Carpenter. The other is a concert film shot at the final show in Vancouver. It also includes the full Tortured Poets Department set. They both start streaming on December 12th.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Are you ready for some football? Your primetime lineup starts at 6 with the pregame show. At 7, the Cowboys take on the Lions. And at 10, Catch Children Ruin Everything. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a peek outside, it's chilly and cloudy, minus 16 degrees. That wind chill making it feel closer to minus 27. Winds are strong out of the south at 32, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. It's a gusty start to the morning, and it will remain that way through much of the day. It eases into the afternoon, and along with it, as do our temperatures. But first, we have to get through a rather icy start. Let me move out of the way so northwestern Manitoba, or northwestern Ontario rather, can see their temperatures. Minus 12 degrees in Portage to kick us off, minus 11 in Brandon, minus 10 in Dauphin, quite chilly in Fisher Branch this hour at minus 16. Speaking of chilly, it's minus 29 in Churchill, but with that wind chill, it is feeling closer to minus 40. In fact, that very frigid air is lingering over much of northern Manitoba, making for some very tough wind chill values this morning and some snowfall that's falling off and on throughout the morning in the north. Meanwhile, southwestern Manitoba also contending with a separate system that's picking up on our radar there. Snowy in most of southern Manitoba. Winnipeg will be seeing those flakes fly relatively soon, likely as the kids head to class. Minus 16 degrees as they clock in for the day, minus 12 as they take lunch, and getting up to minus 9 as they head home with that light snowfall expected, about 2 to 4 centimeters worth. If you can believe it, we're getting up to a high of minus 7 degrees. That's a seasonal temperature that's been difficult for us to achieve the last couple of days, and it's going to be short-lived. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to minus 13 as that snowfall continues, and tomorrow we're starting to get cooler again. Your Skywatch picture of the day snapped in Island Lake by Dwayne. A stunning shot of that sunset. And if you have any weather pictures that you'd love for us to see, sunset or otherwise, you can always email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Catherine. Deck the halls for your chance to win and be featured on Your Morning Winnipeg. Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season, and we want to see how you've decorated for the holidays. All those nutcrackers, lights, and trees could help you win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck. Safety advocates are reminding everyone to be careful when putting up Christmas decorations, especially when using a ladder. Nearly 500 people in BC end up in hospitals every year, and experts say it can be prevented. CTV's Sinjin Alexander has some timely advice.
This is one of the most memorable scenes from Christmas Vacation, likely because the audience can relate. In the rush to get it all done, it's never as easy as it looks.
I push the stuff, then I fell down with the ladders. Yeah.
Of course, when someone falls in real life, it's not funny. Just ask Alan Wang. On a ladder, loading parcels, he suddenly tipped back and broke both wrists.
I can clearly hear my bomb is cracked.
That's why WorkSafe and Preventable Injuries have teamed up. Whether putting up lights or on the job, make sure you're using the right ladder and using it properly.
Are there overhead power lines where you'll be working? Is the surface flat? Is it icy? Is it slippery? So that might be an icy substrate if you're in northern BC or in the Kootenays or anywhere in the province where it's icy right now.
Inspect the equipment. Is it in good shape? Check the markings. Can it handle the weight? And when climbing, Maintain 3 points of contact.
2 feet and 1 hand, or 2 hands, 1 feet.
Last year, WorkSafe dealt with 876 ladder claims. More than 300 were especially serious. Wang's advice? Take your time and make a plan.
You need a helper. You cannot do it by yourself. Most of people, they just doing by themselves. They think it's very easy. Put the ladders here, climb there, then doing decoration. It's not good.
And of course, make sure the weather is good and there's plenty of light. Their final piece of advice? Ask yourself, do you really need a ladder? Or is there a safer way to finish your festive masterpiece? St. John Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
We're building another toy mountain, and you can help. CTV News Winnipeg and our friends from 103.1 Virgin Radio and Bounce 99.9 will be collecting new unwrapped toys on Friday and Saturday at CF Polo Park. You can find us on the 2nd floor overlooking Centre Court. Toy mountain donations can also be made at all Scotiabank, IKEA, Toys R Us locations, and at select Winnipeg Fire Paramedic stations. You can find a full list of locations at our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca.
The Snowflake Bazaar has been around for 9 years, and since it's really blown up the Great Falls Community Hall. Melissa is joining me once again to share. Every kid, Melissa, is going to have their own interests, but here they can get basically whatever they want to feed those needs.
Definitely. We have something for everyone and everyone on their list.
So it's affordable too.
Yes, everything is $3.50 or less down to 25 cents. So everything is priced with a child's budget in mind because it's for them.
Well, so how does it work day of? The kids come in, they're doing their shop, and they really have to make those decisions in real time.
Yes, that's a very big struggle because time seems to stop when they come in, and they can be here for hours because they want to look and look some more. And then it's really hard for them to hone in and shop for the people on their list because it's very exciting to want it all for you.
You know what? I don't blame them this time of year. Those shopping bags, my goodness. When it comes to the donations, I cannot believe you have over 30,000 toys and items.
We do. Yes, it's a lot.
So how many people within community and surrounding community have contributed to this?
Oh, hundreds. We have people call from, we've had people call from Winnipeg. We do community pickup days in Pinawa and Lac du Bonnet, where we spend half the day in Pinawa, half of the day in Lac du Bonnet, and people will just come to a central meeting location. So it's nice that it's catching on and people are saving those items in a box, and then when they have one, bring it. They often just call, and when our volunteers are out and about in certain communities, if we're passing through, we'll just meet up to collect the donations. But yeah, it's really gotten popular, and it's quite lovely. Thank goodness, because otherwise we would be very stuck for gifts.
Before we're out of time, where do the funds go?
The funds all go back into the region, into programming for youth and children. It's like the kids' money going to work for themselves because it goes into sport and literacy and culture and mental health, but back for the kids and children and youth.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And it's all gift wrapped themselves, so it is a surprise for them and their families on Christmas.
Well, Mother Nature certainly took note of that bazaar because we are getting some snowfall today throughout much of the province. Winnipeg will join the club in due time. It's cold out there, minus 16 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like minus 27. It's overcast and breezy with southerly winds at 32, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. So yes, we have a pair of clippers that have been tracking into our province over the next couple of days, or will be rather, bringing some light snowfall. You can see one of them has already moved into southwestern Manitoba. I see there's already some snowfall coming in Portage-la Prairie. So it is dawning on us here in Winnipeg too. We'll see about 2 to 5 centimeters worth. The north also has some flurry activity this morning. You have a light chance of that continuing throughout the day. Meanwhile, our temperatures are finally at seasonal. That's been difficult for us, as you recall, anyone who's had to step outside. Minus 7 degrees. Again, those strong southerly winds will ramp up even more at 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, but they do ease off into the early afternoon and shift out of the northwest. And again, those periods of snow expected about 2 to 5 centimeters worth. Likely to continue overnight with temperatures dipping further to -13. There will be a slight wind chill factor, maybe making it feel closer to -20, but nothing like what we're seeing this morning. And winds will remain out of the northwest and under those partly cloudy skies. Into tomorrow, that clipper continues, and it's a little bit weaker, this one, likely bringing only just a couple centimeters, temperatures dipping down to -11. And from there, it is dragging in an Arctic front that is going to plunge our temperatures even cooler into Saturday and Sunday. The good news is we get some sunshine, so I guess it's a trade-off. -16 on Saturday, -19 on Sunday, and then we recover on Monday with more snowfall expected.
Now at your gas prices, the Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.21. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.20, and the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
RSV is a common virus that can affect the nose, the throat, and lungs, and symptoms can be mild for most adults, but it can be dangerous for infants and small children, often leading to hospitalization. Shared Health wants parents to know about some changes to infant immunizations. Joining us now are fourth-year pediatric residents Meredith Shue and Katie Fella. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if people don't realize what RSV is exactly, what is it and why is it so dangerous for little ones?
Yeah, so RSV is a very common virus that typically starts to really pick up in the winter months.
Okay.
As a virus, it's not something we can cure with a medication or antibiotics. And for the common adult or healthy older child, it's just a common cold.
Mm-hmm.
But for really young children, especially less than 6 months or those with medical conditions, it's one of the most common reasons why kids need to get admitted to hospital.
And they're not necessarily always just infants. It could also be toddlers that really can get affected by this.
Yes, but typically when they're a toddler size, they're not really as sick as needing to come into the hospital. They might, but most commonly it's for the younger children.
And why is it so dangerous? It really blocks their airways, right?
Yeah, because babies have smaller airways than older people.
Okay.
A little bit of mucus can plug up the airways and just make them have a really hard time breathing.
Oh my gosh.
Compared to bigger people.
Okay, so there are new rules when it comes to immunization. Before we get to the new rules, what were they before?
So it used to be that we had a small RSV. We say vaccine, but it isn't really a vaccine.
Okay.
It's an antibody that, instead of your body producing its own antibodies, like your typical vaccine, this one, the body's given the antibody to help your own immune system fight off infection. So it skips that kind of step of a vaccine needing to boost your own immune system.
Okay.
It used to be that only high-risk infants, so those with other medical conditions, would get the product, and they needed to get it every 4 weeks.
Okay.
There's now a newer product that lasts longer, really for the whole RSV season. And new is Shared Health and Public Health, and the government has been able to get access for this product for all healthy infants who are born within the season.
Okay, so I mean, Katie, you're expecting a baby in just a few weeks. What does this mean to you as an expecting mom, knowing that this is available now to your child? Because you've seen the worst of the worst.
Yeah, so it gives me the peace of mind. I've seen children coming into the emergency department needing to be admitted to hospital and sometimes going to intensive care because they're so sick from RSV. And we know from previous jurisdictions that have introduced the new product that this reduces hospitalizations significantly, somewhere between 70 and 90%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so basically the child is able to get this antiviral right at birth, pretty much.
Yeah, so the easiest way to get it is before you leave the hospital. Most birthing centers and hospitals will have it available, and it's safe to get as soon as you're born. So it's the easiest way to make sure that your baby who's eligible is getting it. But if you've missed the dose and you declined it in hospital, there's ways in other clinics that public health can help arrange for them to still get it if they're eligible.
What messaging do you have to parents, especially those that might be expecting a baby in the near future? What would you tell them to sort of put their fears to rest when it comes to this?
Yeah, I think we know from where this product has been used before that it is safe. Like we said, it's not a vaccine, but it gives the antibodies that our bodies have all produced in response to this virus, but that babies haven't had the chance to yet. And it protects the most vulnerable patients, which are the young babies and younger children with other health conditions.
So this is good news for you, being in the healthcare industry.
It's great. It's also great for families. No one wants their child to get admitted to hospital. And healthy children who've never been sick, you don't expect them to need to be in hospital.
Right.
So it's really wonderful that we're able to offer this to try to keep kids from needing to get admitted.
Okay, and it's good for 5 months, so then they'd have to do it again, right?
So right now it's only for this first season.
Okay.
And you don't really need a repeat for otherwise healthy children, because the thought is you're not the high-risk group anymore.
That is incredible. All right, well, thank you for this information. If you do want more info, we do have a link on our website. Thanks.
Thank you.
Taking a look outside right now, we're sitting at -16 with the wind chill, though it feels like -27. Your Morning Winnipeg comes back after this short break. Stay with us.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Frigid start to the day, but take comfort. We will be getting some warmer temperatures today, but we got to get through this iciness first. It's -16 degrees with that wind chill feeling closer to -27 with some very strong southerly winds at 32, gusting at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity at 80%. So while we'll have some more seasonal temperatures, we're contending with some more snowfall. Care of another clipper. In fact, we've got a pair of them coming our way. This one is already showing up on the Futurecast. It has brought snowfall to most of southern Manitoba this morning, including as near to us as Portage la Prairie. So we too will be seeing the flakes fly very soon. Meanwhile, the north has also seen some snowfall today. Your chances for it to continue throughout your Thursday are a little bit lighter. About 30% is what Environment and Climate Change Canada predicts, but that ramps up overnight. Temperatures a little bit milder than what you saw yesterday. That's a relative term, considering -16 is the high in Thompson, -18 in Gillam. Very chilly in Churchill at -25 degrees. And must mention those wind chills this morning feel in excess of -40. So really bundle up if you're heading outside. A little bit warmer to the northwest, where you too have about a 30% chance of that flurry activity. Temperatures there in the low -teens, a little bit cooler in Island Lake at -16. Southwestern Manitoba snow has already begun in your region. That'll continue throughout the day. About 2 to 5 centimeters is predicted by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Temperatures nice and mild, below seasonal for you, -5 across the board, with some strong southerly winds this morning that ease into the afternoon. Much the same for us, a hair cooler in Winnipeg. We'll also deal with those strong winds. They shift and ease into the afternoon as that snowfall continues. Northwestern Ontario, much the same, snowfall and light temperatures. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to -13. Tomorrow, much the same as that second clipper rolls in. It'll be weaker, though.
Rochelle, I'm dressed up in the festive spirit. Look at these. Hold on, actually, listen. Linda DeRosier and I are getting ready for the Snowflake Bazaar, and the volunteers you guys call angels. Why is that?
Because they help so much. They come out of and do it for hours and hours and think nothing of it. We just make a phone call. They're here within an hour.
Wow, and 150 people or more putting this together. What does it all take more specifically?
It takes a very good top person to help us. It's amazing the stuff that people donate and the stuff that you have to organize, set up. Our leader is just fantastic. She's got it all figured out. We've been doing it so often that now it's just come in and help her place stuff, and then she'll go through and fix it all up for us and make it look pretty like she always does.
Mm-hmm. And 9 years, I mean, it's given, almost a decade now. There's more to it, though, because the basement has baked goods and adult areas.
They don't let the parents in. It's only for kids. The kids come, they register at the door, they put their name in, they come in. The parents can't come in. They have to go downstairs so the kids get to pick what they want. And it's always like mom, dad, aunts. Some of them have this list like you wouldn't believe. They're walking out with these bags. We wrap them up and put them in bows and boxes and whatever. And the kids go, they just like their eyes are just huge. They're so excited because they know they can come and they can afford it, but they always seem to make sure there's about at least 25 cents or 50 cents left for something for them. So we have to sort of panel them down a little bit so that they make sure they get all their gifts for their families first before they run out of money. But they're just loving it, and the parents are just flabbergasted when you take, like we take our kids downstairs to give them to the parents. We don't just drop them at the door. And the parents are just like loving it. And they're downstairs shopping too, because we've left them down there with the coffee and the tea and the desserts and so on. So it's awesome. It's just fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to community for rallying around this. 25 cents. I wonder how far that could go at a shopping mall these days. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. A new report forecasts food prices will rise next year as trade disruptions and climate change put pressure on suppliers. Joining us now with more details is CTV's Kamil Karamali. Good morning, Kamil.
Hey, good morning, Rochelle. Good to see you.
You too. Now, by how much did food prices go up this year, and the reasons why, according to Canada's Food Price Report?
Yeah, that's right. And so prices are expected to go up significantly in 2026. We are expecting to see actually it climb by around $994, so just about over $1,000 or just about $1,000 increase in 2026 for the average family of 4 across the country. Now, the average amount or estimated amount a family of 4 is expected to spend for the next year, for 2026, is $17,571. Once again, that's an increase of $994 more for food in 2026 because of issues like trade and climate change. And the inflation this year is higher than roughly 4% seen this year as well. So the growth in food prices next year expected to grow even more as trade-related price pressures continue as well, Rochelle.
This is just going to put more strain on families who are barely surviving right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of the concern that we're hearing as we see these prices increase day in and day out across the board here, including with U.S. tariffs playing a major role. I mean, already we were seeing increases take place, but obviously in the past year or so, the trade war with our neighbors to the south really playing a role in how much food is increasing at the grocery stores, Rochelle. So once again, this food report showing an increase of nearly $1,000, $996 for 2026, and that is going to see roughly an increase of about, or an estimated total about $17,571. That is the average total across the country of what families will be paying for groceries and to put food on their table next year. Rochelle, back over to you.
Well, thanks for an update on this. Thank you, Kamil.
No worries.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 45th birthday, Heather, with love from your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Sight for sore eyes. Apologies. Our high should actually be -7 today. That is also our average, and happy to see that after days of below seasonal temps. And we're still a little cooler than what we saw last year and far off the record set back in 1913 of 8.9 degrees. So I'm happy to report, depending on how you feel about snow, the flakes have started flying here in downtown Winnipeg. It's minus 16 degrees with that wind chill feels more like minus 27. Overcast to start and gusty out of the south at 32, gusting to 42 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. So this light snowfall is expected to last through most of the day through southern Manitoba. That's a pair of a weak clipper, very similar to what we saw on Tuesday. That's bringing about 2 to 5 centimeters worth to the south. To the north, it's been a snowy start to your day as well. That'll likely taper off. It'll probably be a dry day for you before snowfall increases in your neck of the woods overnight. Temperatures in the north are peaking in the mid to upper minus teens, cooler values in the northeast. While we here in Winnipeg, again, will deal with above seasonal values. Minus 7 is what's expected. These winds will be strong out of the south and taper off into the afternoon. Meantime, tomorrow, a second weaker clipper comes in, bringing a few centimeters of snow, and behind it, some very icy temperatures into the weekend.
Risk of homelessness or facing tough economic barriers, a nonprofit charity is filling up shoeboxes with supplies to keep them feeling connected, uplifted, and empowered. It's called the Shoebox Project, and last year hundreds of shoeboxes filled with toiletries, special treats, and gift cards were handed out to 34 shelters and agencies all around Manitoba. The organization is looking for help to continue its important work this holiday season. Joining us now from the Shoebox Project are Nina Migalski and Paulette Quigley. Good morning and hello to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is kind of a unique thing, right? You have a shoebox, you fill it up with supplies. Tell us about the women that you are supporting with this project.
Yeah, so we support women who are at risk of homelessness. Primarily, we donate to domestic violence shelters, resource centers, and homeless shelters. Basically, we are the middleman. So the community donates. They build these shoe boxes, they bring them to the libraries, and then we deliver them to the shelters. So so basically the community can build a shoe box, drop it off at one of our drop-off locations, which are majority the libraries across Winnipeg, and then we pick them up and we organize them and we deliver them.
What does it mean when a woman opens that shoe box and sees all the treasures inside?
For many of the shelters, what they do is they use them as their holiday gift. So they'll have a holiday party closer to Christmas. And we do hear that many of the women, this will be the only gift that they get at Christmas. Okay. So for many of them, it's a very special time to be able to get these gifts.
Okay, and you brought an example of a shoebox.
Yeah.
Tell us what's in here and who are the people who support this and make this happen.
So every shoebox, the person who donates it gets to write a card, and they put a thoughtful inscription in it. They get to pick all of the items that they want to put in it, so luxury, like face masks and some sweets, some necessities, and then also some warm weather items like toques and socks. But we do have partners.
Some special treats in that too.
So HUNA is one of our sponsors, and last year they donated around $15,000 worth of supplies that we could put into the shoe boxes. And then we have companies like The Gap and Coach, Superstore. Cycling with Sarah is another charity-based organization. They do fundraising for us and they do drives for us. And then Paulette has something here to show as well.
Right. One of the other organizations that we work with is another Manitoba charity called Threads of Hope.
Okay.
And they do sewing projects for other local charities. What they make for us are cold weather items. So this year we've got mitts and we've got neck scarves that we will use to supplement into the boxes.
And I mean, everybody needs these items, especially right now. It's so cold outside.
That's right.
But your donations are low right now. You are in desperate need of support from the community. What are you needing right now?
So you can donate in different ways. So if you're a business, you can donate in-kind donations. So you can donate supplies that we will build the boxes with. That's what HUNA does. There's other groups, like if you work in an office, your office group can, everybody buys stuff for the shoe boxes, and we'll even come pick them up. Or you can drop them off at the libraries. But big donations, like anything over 10 boxes, we'll send a driver and we'll pick them up. So it could be your family, you know, maybe instead of, you know, buying the family gifts, you guys can donate gifts, and we can take them and donate them to our shelters.
You are really low on donations right now.
That's
so
right.
tell us the number and the need right now and what you're hoping from the public.
Sure.
Well, last year we did 840. Of course, we would want this year to match or increase that. We're down by about 50% so far. Yes.
So you really need support. So if you're watching right now and you can put together, you can even get your family to sponsor a box, put one together, and then donate, or get your workplace to help out. The need is great, and of course, it goes a long way. Any last messages to the public?
Yeah, we support 34 agencies across Manitoba, so it's not just Winnipeg. We do Thompson, Flin Flon, you know, Portage La Prairie, all over Manitoba. So you're not just helping people in Winnipeg, but you're helping the community across the province.
It's a beautiful shoebox. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. If you do want more information, we do have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we are off to Milwaukee, where the Bucks are hosting the Pistons. Miles Turner just going at the rim, throws one down. He woke up this morning and he chose some violence. A huge slam for the Bucks center.
Put some hot sauce on that beef.
Puts Isaiah Stewart, tried to block him. Instead, he ends up on the wrong side of that one. It's your must-see moment from Wednesday. And coming up tonight on TSN, we kick off Week 14 in the NFL. We got the Cowboys and Lions going head-to-head. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7 Eastern at 4 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Thursday, December 4th. Startling increases. Harvest Manitoba releases its annual report, what it says about who's using the food bank and how those numbers have grown. Parking versus housing, why the City of Winnipeg says it's throwing takeout weight against the Municipal Board's Granite Curling Club decision. And tourists flock to this German city for this special holiday loaf. But given the numbers these bakers produce annually, there should be plenty to go around. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At a little later, at about 8:15, we're going to tell you about a local chef. His name is Ben Kramer. He has a project. It's called Made with Love Project. Basically, what he does is not only does he have a catering business, which is, of course, profit, but he also uses some of his gratuity to prepare really healthy, nutritious meals and then provides them to those in need in our community. Well, he is in need of help to keep this project going. So we're going to find out more about that a little later. But the weather, you really need something warm in your belly today.
You sure do. I want to say I was at a wedding over the summer catered by Chef Ben Kramer. Incredible food, and it is hard to cook for a wedding. So it's amazing the work he does. Yes, you need some comfort food as you head out the door. Maybe something hearty like oatmeal to warm you up, because it's quite chilly to kick off this Thursday. Minus 16 degrees. That wind chill feels more like minus 27. It's overcast and very windy out there, with southerly gusts at 32, gusting to at times to 42 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 80%. So yes, it will be breezy through much of the morning and snowy. It started to fall already in Winnipeg, and much of southern Manitoba has been contending with the snowfall thanks to this clipper, this low pressure system that's moved in from the west. About 2 to 5 centimeters associated with that. However, we also have a second one that we're keeping an eye on. So here's that system, kind of hard to miss. The north also has some snowfall this morning. It'll likely taper off throughout the day. As that goes by, we start to see those skies remain partly cloudy through much of the province. And this system here bringing flurry activity to much of the north. And then it tracks, this is another clipper to us in southern Manitoba. So more snowfall, a lot less. This is a weaker system, but behind it, it drags up an Arctic front. So what that means is we clear out nicely overnight on Friday, setting the stage for a sunny weekend. However, with it, some very icy temperatures. But But we have some nice days to look forward to first. -7 degrees is our high. That's more typical for what we've been seeing for the last couple of days, that's for sure. Temperatures overnight will dip down to -13 as wind shifts out of the northwest. The wind chill, will make it feel closer to -25. Tomorrow we're creeping back down with our temperatures with that added snowfall at -11, and then we drop off into the weekend. Your weather art of the day, 11-year-old Katie created this incredible piece. It's just stunning, just 11 years old, already much better than my artistic skills, although that's not saying much. A reminder, we need to see your kids' weather-themed artwork. We're running low on submissions. We're featuring one every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg, so be sure to email us your entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Food bank usage is on the rise among younger families. Manitoba Harvest released its Harvest Voices 2025 report this morning. It shows 40% more families with children are accessing the food bank's resources now compared to 5 years ago. Families with children under 18 now account for 45% of all Harvest Manitoba's clients, up from 32%. This year's report also shows more clients who are working or who have at least some post-secondary education. In total, the organization serves about 60,000 clients a month. Harvest Manitoba outlined 10 recommendations in its report to help address provincial food insecurity. These include increasing social assistance, providing more employment training, and establishing a food security fund for wildfire and climate-related displacements. There's a new twist in the ongoing Granite Curling Club saga. Manitoba's municipal board says the city has to come up with an adequate parking plan the curling club agrees with before an affordable housing complex can be built on the lot. But Winnipeg's mayor says the city doesn't need the club's consent. A year ago, City Council gave the go-ahead for an 11-story housing development. Granite Curling Club's been fighting the decision ever since because the location is its parking lot. The lot is owned by the city, and Granite Curling Club is leasing it from the city. A city report says the province's municipal board isn't legally binding and can only make recommendations on the proposed zoning bylaws.
The legal team has done their analysis on the municipal board and this ruling that they made, and has made the determination that the municipal board went beyond its scope. And so what we have before us today is a decision that we have to make.
The city's report is suggesting the city negotiate a new long-term lease with the curling club, one that includes an expanded area and dedicated on-site parking options. However, the mayor says their lease actually expired 7 years ago, and he says the parking issue should be dealt with through the lease renewal.
The municipal board recommendation, all it added was a condition that the city actually had to work with the Granite. So we were hoping the city would do that, but now they're taking this bizarre position that they can just ignore the municipal board.
The curling club says they're exploring all available options, including a potential legal battle, but they're hoping they can reach a deal. The report and motion for the new plan will be discussed at the next Executive Policy Committee hearing on December 9th. Any final decision will have to be voted on by the entire City Council. This is the time of year when people flock to the city of Dresden in Germany for a seasonal treat. It's called the Schlotten, a special holiday loaf. It's made with orange peel, raisins, almonds, and a touch of marzipan. Bakers in the city have been making Stollen for centuries, and the tradition is still going strong. More than 5 million loaves were sold last year. Looks really good. Here's a look at what's happening outside now on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things have really picked up over here, but overall moving quite well. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know.
People come from near and far to check out the Snowflake Bazaar. Hey, look, that rhymed. It looks like I'm Dr. Seuss this morning. Paul DeRosier joins us to tell us about this spectacular event, and you have people really traveling to make it happen.
Yes, we do. And it all starts with the volunteers that come from a long ways away. It's not just local. People as far as Beausejour, Pinawa, lots of people from Winnipeg that also make this event a success.
Mm-hmm. What makes it so special, gathering people from all over?
Well, it just shows that there's a lot of participation and cooperation that still exists in the communities. One of the big things that's a big bonus is that this takes an awful lot of stress on the families, where the kids can turn around and do their shopping, and it alleviates a lot of the pressure that some of the parents may encounter.
It's also really unique. You're not going to see something like this all of the time. When they're actually here, obviously it's Thursday morning, it's pretty, it fills up quick.
Oh, it certainly does, yes. And as the kids come through the door, they come in with, hopefully with their little list of stuff, and it makes it a real thorough way of shopping for.
How cute is that? I mean, that's an obvious question, really, but how cute is it to see them with their list and picking what they want for their friends and family?
Yes, we get all kinds of situations where we start off trying to shop for the brothers and sisters, but in some cases they like to shop for themselves as well, and we have to encourage them to turn around and make sure that they take care of their family.
You mentioned community. Why is this community so important, not only to you, but in regards to this event?
Well, this is the base to turning around and giving at Christmas time, and that's the big portion that is sometimes forgotten amongst the families and what Christmas is all about.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have said it better myself. Worth the trip to Great Falls. I don't know if you can hear that from here.
Thank you, Ainsley. The holiday season is a special time for many, but this is a particularly meaningful year for one Eastern Ontario Christmas tree farmer. Pud Johnston is marking a milestone. He's now 100 years old. And as CTV's Dave Charbonneau shows us, he's still hard at work at the family business he started more than 7 decades ago.
At Johnson Brothers Tree Farm near Kemptville, Ontario, owner Pud Johnson is still moving through the fields just as he has for 73 seasons.
I love the trees, I love the outdoors, the fresh air, and the exercise is healthful.
At 100 years old, Johnston is out here most days tending to the trees he has spent a lifetime growing.
Well, I stay fit, I watch my diet, I keep my weight down, I get adequate sleep, and I can still do a little work, about 3 or 4 hours a day.
The family business first opened in 1952. Now, decades later, his son Kerry works on the farm, watching his father continue the work he loves.
I think that it's almost impossible to believe. You know, there are no old people working the same way that my father is.
And as generations of families return to the farm each year, Kerry says they have watched those customers grow up.
We have children who are now adults that come here that remember, you know, Dad and Mom and the activity, but now they have children. And that's quite a thing that, you know, we have that longevity.
We've been married and together for 60 years. Yeah, a long time. Yes, I think we should cut this one down for our family room.
According to his wife Sheila, the trees are what keep him moving every day.
I think he needs his trees. He needs to come out and get the exercise. Probably needs to be a little, have some alone time.
And even at 100 years old, retirement still seems to be more of a joke than a plan.
When are you going to retire? This year. Yeah? I think I've retired already.
For now, Pud Johnson is happy right where he's always been, among the trees for another year of Christmas memories. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Certainly beginning to feel appropriate for Christmas tree weather. Minus 15 degrees. That wind chill, though, quite rough, if you will. Out of the feeling like minus 28 this hour. A couple of errant snowflakes coming in. That'll pick up throughout the morning. Winds are strong out of the south at 44, gusting at times to 57 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling. Humidity sitting at 81%. So yes, some cooler temperatures to kick off the day. Our mercury will be rising to much more seasonal values in good time, but we got to get through a bit of a frigid morning. As we know, these temperatures in the low to mid minus teens only tell part of the story. Wind chills feeling in excess of minus 30, starting to ease, but the thermostat will read minus 9 in Dauphin, minus 15 in Fisher Branch, minus 10 in Portage La Prairie. Similarly, temperatures in the north are very impacted by that wind chill. In fact, in Churchill, where it is minus 29 degrees, it's feeling closer to minus 40, but it's a much warmer start to the day in Thompson than yesterday when you had similar wind chill values. Meanwhile, we are tracking tracking this clipper here that's responsible for that snowfall you're seeing out your window. It's brought light snow through much of southern Manitoba starting early this morning. That should taper off a little later on today, but you're certainly going to want to prepare the kids for the snowy weather. Minus 16 degrees as they get to class, minus 12 as it starts to warm up around lunch, heading home at minus 9. In fact, we're going to get even warmer than that. Minus 7, which mentioned is seasonal. Those strong southerly winds will ease and shift into the afternoon out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, a second clipper bringing more snowfall, lighter though, about 1 to 3 centimeters worth, with temperatures starting to dip. We're going to take a break. We're chatting with Chef Ben Kramer just ahead.
Here at Your Morning, we love the sights of the season, and we want to see how you've decked the halls for the holidays. You could win a $500 gift card from Red River Co-op and have the chance to show off your holiday house live on Your Morning Winnipeg with a visit from Ainsley McPhail. To enter, head to our contest page at ctvwinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and submit some pictures. Good luck.
Another merger changing the Canadian banking landscape. Canada's 7th largest bank, EQ, is buying PC Financial from Loblaws. EQB, the company behind digital EQ Bank, is paying $800 million in shares and cash in a deal that will see Loblaw take about a 16% stake in the bank, while EQ will become the exclusive financial partner of the PC Optimum loyalty program. The deal will expand EQ's customer base by about 3.5 million, including more than 2 million active PC MasterCard clients, compared with EQ Bank's customer base of about 600,000. It also adds about $5.8 billion in assets to EQB's existing $138 billion. Meanwhile, EQB missed its quarterly earnings estimate by 23%. Now, we're also getting earnings reports from TD, CIBC, and BMO. Strong results in its capital markets helped CIBC top estimates. It topped analyst estimates now for more than 2 years in a row. Similar story for TD in the capital markets, leading to an EPS of $2.18. A stronger than expected performance in its U.S. sector helped BMO beat estimates with an EPS of $3.28 on an adjusted basis. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
A local chef with a for-profit catering business has also been whipping up nutritious and delicious meals and feeding those in need. Chef Ben Kramer's Made with Love program has been filling hungry bellies for the past 5 years, and this year, at a time of growing food insecurity in our community, Kramer needs help to keep the project secure. Joining us now is Made with Love chef Ben Kramer. Good morning, Ben.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Now, how did this idea first sort of grow 5 years ago?
Well, our business has always sort of given back a little bit as we can. While we were trying to build this small catering business. And then during the pandemic, when all of our events disappeared, we decided to put all of our energy towards feeding those in our community. Our kitchen's based downtown, so we're kind of surrounded by a lot of people who need some help and support. So without any events to keep us busy, we decided to start feeding the neighborhood, and have grown it ever since.
And how does it work? How do you fund this?
So we initially started by getting donations from the public. And even before that, actually, when restaurants first shut down, they weren't allowed to serve food during the pandemic, so we took all of their excess food and turned it into meals.
Okay.
Then we started doing fundraising, we got some donations, and now we've kind of built it into our business model where instead of charging an automatic gratuity on events, we take 15% and funnel it back into Made with Love.
That is incredible. And in estimation, in those 5 years, how many bellies do you think you filled?
Well, we're close to 200,000 meals that we've given away. I think the number's probably a little higher than that because some of the meals were done in bulk, so it's hard to estimate.
Okay, yeah.
But as far as individual meals that we've packed and delivered, that's been, just shy of 200,000.
That is incredible. And we're talking healthy, nutritious, delicious food. Tell us a little bit about some of the meals that you've prepared under this program.
Yeah, I mean, they're all designed by myself and my team. And as chefs, food comes first a lot of times. So our goal was to make sure that we were providing nutritious meals and not just filler. So we're doing things like grilled chicken, rice, and a vegetable as one meal. We do some vegetarian meals, we'd do some pasta, but they're all designed to be individual meals that are we vacuum seal them, so if you don't have access to a kitchen, you can literally drop the bag into a pot of hot water and it'll heat it up all the way through.
Wow.
Or you can pop it in the microwave, the oven, and they're fully cooked, so you can eat them cold if that is your situation.
You've also partnered up with Main Street Project, right?
Yeah. Initially, we were using a bunch of organizations to help do distribution during the pandemic, and then now we've sort of partnered with Main Street Project primarily, just because they have a pretty broad distribution network. So we get them the meals, and they get them to the people that need them.
When you started, you were helping to feed 1 in 8. Now the need is greater. What do you need from the public to support you right now?
Well, we're trying to collect donations. Our goal is to try and hit 200,000 by the end of the year, plus keep this going through the cold months. So spreading the word, for sure, letting people know that we're there and we're doing the work, but we're primarily trying to raise funds just so we can keep buying food. Food's not getting any more or any cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
And the need is greater. You're seeing that trend as well.
Yeah,
right?
when we started, the stats were 1 in 8 people were food insecure. It's now at least 1 in 4 from the latest data. Food's getting more expensive, a little more scarce, so we're just trying to give back and keep the food going. I understand that it's sort of a band-aid to the bigger problem of poverty.
Right.
But as cooks, we're just doing what we can and feeding people.
Well, if you want more information on the project, we do have a link on our website. Thanks for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for feeding so many people.
Yeah, you bet.
Incredible work being done there. Already, it's a little bit chilly to start off the day and a little bit snowy. Minus 15 degrees, that wind chill making it feel more like minus 28. Strong southerly winds whipping these flakes around at 44, gusting at times to 57 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity sits at 81%. So we're going to start to the north and work our way down. Areas, much of northern Manitoba has already seen a little bit of snowfall this morning. It'll likely taper off throughout the day. Temperatures there will be a little bit warmer than what you've been seeing at least for the last week. So you're looking at highs in the northwest of the low minus teens and upper minus teens in the northeast. That snowfall, however, will increase overnight. You're likely to get a couple centimeters worth into tomorrow, while we here will deal with the remnants of this clipper through southern Manitoba, about 2 to 5 centimeters worth. Temperatures at seasonal values, and in areas like southwest, it'll be a little bit warmer. Highs there about minus 5, Winnipeg at minus 7. Overnight, snowfall could taper off. Temperatures dipping down in Winnipeg to minus 19. And then tomorrow, a second weaker clipper brings a couple more centimeters of snow, and dragging behind it, it's pulling southerly a Arctic front that's going to be dragging temperatures down into the weekend. The good news is we do get the sunshine back. Your Skywatch picture of the day, speaking of sunshine, Dwayne snapped this lovely shot in Island Lake. Thanks for submitting, and keep those weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
We're building a toy mountain. CTV News Winnipeg and our friends from 103.1 Virgin Radio and Bounce 99.9 will be collecting new unwrapped toys on Friday and Saturday at CF Polo Park. You can find us on the second floor overlooking Center Court. Toy mountain donations can also be made at all Scotiabank, IKEA, Toys R Us locations, and at select Winnipeg Fire Paramedic stations.
As we head into the holiday season, many of us are looking for thoughtful gifts that bring a little comfort and calm into real life. Here to share a curated selection of gifts for him and her is educator and host of the Juggle is Real podcast, Andriana Gonco. Good morning.
Good morning, Ainsley. You know what? This is the perfect time of year to get those self-care gifts for those that we love, and I have some great ideas to share.
I love it. So let's start with something for him. What's a thoughtful gift that really feels special?
For him, I have the premium grooming gift that feels indulgent, but it's also incredibly useful. It's the Braun Series 9 Pro Plus. And now if you have someone on your list, for me, it's my husband. He's not going to buy something like this, but it's something that he's absolutely going to love. It delivers an efficient but gentle shave, whether you have a 1-day, a 3-day, or a 7-day beard, and it delivers that barbershop close finish without the irritation. A lot of beautiful features like this Pro Lift blade. It also has a Precision Pro trimmer built right in there, and it also has AutoSense technology that adapts to your beard density, which I think is incredible. It's also fully waterproof. It has a 40-degree flexible head for those hard-to-reach places like the chin. and it also has an up to 2-year warranty. So definitely check this out to elevate his routine on Amazon or at major retailers.
Okay, well now she needs something. Let's hear it.
Absolutely. I'm bringing to you a Canadian female-led company, Maven Shea. They design ergonomic luxury slippers. Now, this is not your grandma's slippers, Ainsley. They are designed with genuine shearling. It has a removable insole, so you're not going to have stinky slippers either. And it's also podiatrist approved. It has 9 functional features, and they're also beautiful. You can wear them indoors or outdoors, and I absolutely love them because I always love to be cozy, especially in the winter. Head to mavenshea.com to learn more and choose your own.
No doubt. And going in and out of the holiday season, it can be a really stressful time. Do you have something for us more wellness focused?
Yes. Now, this one is for him or for her, another Canadian female-founded company. This is Scoria, and they designed beautiful, functional, sustainable yoga mats made out of cork, sustainable materials. It's also naturally harvested, non-toxic, and natural, as well as antimicrobial, so it's not going to smell. It is a great grip. I love this. If you do hot yoga or meditation, you're not going to be sliding around, which is beautiful. For the yogi who has everything, this is a yoga wheel from Scoria, which is great for advanced postures as well as stretching. You can find all of this and more at scoria.ca.
Neat. Now, if I'm someone who says 2025 stunk, what's a good way to get a fresh start?
Well, I hope that we can turn things around as we head into the holidays and into next year. This is the Juggle is Real Authentic Self-Care Planner, and this is the perfect gift for someone on your list who wants to be organized and feel grounded and make sure that they're carving out those small pockets for themselves amidst the chaos of daily life. It's set your intention for the month as well as short daily prompts to check in to make sure you're still on your list. It's perfect for teachers, for your sister, for friends, and for yourself. The best part, it's under $20 and it's available on Amazon.ca. So check out the Juggle is Real Authentic Self-Care Planner.
You know what? That is for everyone, but I have a sneaky suspicion that moms will be picking that up like hotcakes. Thank you so much, Andriana.
Thanks so much. Happy gifting.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Icy start to your Thursday at -15, but that wind chill bringing it down to about -28. Snowy and overcast, strong southerly winds, pressure falling, humidity sits at 81%. So we're tracking another clipper that's pushed in from the west. That's the reason for the season, if you will, of that snowfall. You can see it there over southern Manitoba. It is blanketing out, bringing about 2 to 5 centimeters of worth to us in the south. To the north, you too have a slighter chance of some flurry activity. You've already had some this morning. Likely, though, it'll taper off and you'll deal with cloudier skies. Temperatures warmer than what you've been seeing the last couple of days, still nowhere near warm. -16 degrees in Thompson, -18 in Gillam, -26 in Churchill. And a reminder, those wind chill values this morning making it feel more like -40, so please protect yourself if you're headed outside. Slightly milder to the northwest with that same chance of flurry activity. Highs in Pasquia, Cree Nation and the Pond, -10, -12 in Flin Flon, -15 in Lynn Lake, over in Norway House, -11. Southwestern Manitoba, mild below seasonal temperatures for you, -5 degrees across the board with about 2 to 5 centimeters of snowfall expected. Same goes for us. We're a hair cooler in Winnipeg at -7, and those strong southerly winds that we're feeling this morning will ease and shift into the afternoon out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. And northwestern Ontario, touch of flurry activity for you. Temperatures in the upper -teens or upper minus single digits to low -teens. Overnight, we're going to see temperatures dip down to -19 or -13, excuse me, in Winnipeg. And with that, potential for a little bit more of that light snowfall. But behind that, another clipper comes. More snow expected, less than what we'll see today with a high of -11 before things cool off into the weekend.
A warning, the video you're about to see is graphic in nature. Niverville residents are being advised to keep pets away from dead birds after dozens of dead geese were found frozen to the ice on a town retention pond.
Over the past couple of weeks, the numbers have been going up more and more. So you come home yesterday and there was actually one dead on right on our deck there.
Mason Goulet says seeing so many dead geese when he came home from work on Tuesday was shocking. Frank Baldwin with the Canadian Wildlife Service says these geese died due to the current strain of avian influenza virus. Baldwin says officials have been picking up birds which have died from avian flu in Niverville since mid-October rather. He says it doesn't take much for the virus to spread.
Really what's happening is they mingle with ducks, and then when we get cold weather, they get highly concentrated, and the virus moves through the population very quickly.
The Manitoba Wildlife Branch told CTV News it has tested about 726 geese this year, and 54 have tested positive for avian influenza. An infectious diseases researcher at University of Manitoba says there is low risk to humans, but pets need to be kept away from dead birds. A strike by Air Transat pilots could soon be a possibility.
A December strike will be catastrophic because capacity is already saturated. Other airlines like Air Canada and WestJet are flying full plane for the holidays.
By this time next week, the airline's roughly 700 unionized pilots will be in a strike position. They have voted to give the pilot union's governing body the authority to declare a strike as soon as December 10th. The company says operations are continuing as normal. The pilots are pushing for pay raises, job security, and better working conditions. You won't need a ticket for this traveling show. CPKC's annual holiday train rolled through East Kildonan Wednesday night. Winnipeg families brave the cold to see the lights and watch performers Jade Eagleson and Tegan Gase. After Winnipeg, the train moves on down the tracks for an 11:30 a.m. show on Friday in Portage la Prairie, and you still have a few more opportunities to check out a Manitoba show. The holiday train also stops on Friday in Neepawa, Minnedosa, and Shoal Lake. An Alberta teen has become one of the first pediatric patients for a groundbreaking transplant surgery. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, it changes how patients recover.
16-year-old Raiden Delaney has a lot to look forward to now that he has a new kidney.
I get to eat like all the food I want. I get to drink all the fluids I want.
All things possible after having a robot-assisted kidney transplant last month.
Down the remaining arm.
He's one of 2 Canadian teens to undergo this procedure, becoming the first pediatric patient. A relief after 3 years of dialysis.
I got emotional when I called my dad, actually. And just the reaction he gave me just made my heart melt.
This surgery was first performed at the University of Alberta Hospital on 20 adults in the past year. The robotic arms make smaller incisions for a minimally invasive approach.
What that translates to is faster recovery, way less pain, so less pain medication, less narcotic usage, and most importantly, lower wound complications.
That success has led the way for younger patients like Delaney to go under the knife. The recovery for him has been life-changing.
It's like a switch. It was like, it went from me being tired all the time to me wanting to eat, drink.
To see how well he is now and how good he's doing, and to actually get to see him enjoy being a kid, that's tremendous for me.
Dr. Levine says demand for these metal helping hands is growing with awareness.
It feels really good to be able to demonstrate that this is feasible and it works well in this population.
Delaney is already looking forward to next summer, making up for lost time.
I get to swim again. I love swimming because, of course, I'm from Slave Lake, so we have all the swimming in summer.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic along Kenniston Boulevard. It looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any other issues, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.21. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.20, and the lowest price in the city is $1.09. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know what's on your Christmas list. Marlene's wish is to see her kids and grandkids, as well as new lipstick and a good pen and a journal. Gina's dream list is new cupboards. Says being real, she'll win. She'll take a new pair of Crocs. All right, thank you for that. And the top of Jackie's Christmas list would be a Lotto Max or 649 win because she's ready to retire and could also help family in this terrible economy. Yes, that would be great for all of us. Thank you so much for all your responses.
The biggest kids we know are often our adults. And luckily at the Snowflake Bazaar, there's an opportunity for them to either grab a gift, get a raffle prize, or sample some sweet goods. Melissa's joining us once again. So we're in the basement right now in Great Falls. Tell us a little bit about it.
This is our adult area. So while the kids are shopping, there's no adults allowed. So they come down here and they can have tea, coffee, buy some sweet treats, and have a little break and socialize. But we also have available some items for parents to purchase. And once the kids come back, when they're done shopping, they come on down so they can hand in their letters to Santa in a special direct mail box that we have. It's the last weekend to get your letters in, to get him to write you back before Christmas. We also hold a coloring contest where they color the Kids Snowflake Bazaar logo. And then we have a photo booth where we print the pictures on site, and we do pictures with Santa on Friday, and on Saturday it is Nickel the St. Bernard from the Access Credit Unions. So there's lots going on down here and lots of fun to be had while you're either waiting for your siblings as the kids start trickling down and while the adults are waiting as well.
This is not a controversial statement. Manitobans love a raffle.
Yes.
And you guys couldn't have this event without one.
Correct. It definitely helps us raise funds for all of the expenses we have, all of the poly bags and tape and ribbon and things that people don't think of. All of our products get new batteries in them, so like when you buy an item, it's ready to go. And little things like that add up quick. So we have a raffle to help.
If people didn't catch earlier on in the show, they wouldn't have seen upstairs, which is spectacular, by the way. Congratulations on that. Over 30,000 toys. How does it work?
The kids come, and when they arrive with their adults, we have a guest book at the front and they sign in, and then their adults would come down here for some little rest and relaxation, and the kids come in, and we have, if they're young and a little not quite confident in shopping, they bring their shopping list, and we'll have an angel help them with gift ideas or carry their bags for them so they can manage their money, and they go shopping and pick for the people on their list. And when they're done, all their products get gift wrapped for free so that it's a surprise for the day of their big celebration.
The segment's almost over, but we have to tell our audience, when's it happening and where's it happening?
Oh, yeah. It is this Friday, December 5th from 4 to 8 at the Great Falls Hall, and Saturday from 10 in the morning till 1 p.m.
Thank you so much. You have to check it out in person, you guys. It's spectacular. And thank you so much to this community for inviting Kenny and I throughout the morning.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Ooh, I can see there's a little bit of a breeze out there, Catherine.
Yeah, Ainsley provided a nice kind of connection between segments here, segue, because yes, we have some snowflakes whipping around in those strong southerly winds at 44, gusting at times to 57 kilometers per hour. It's feeling real cold and chilly with the temperature at minus 15, but that wind chill closer to minus 28. Pressure falling, humidity at 81%. So we are in the heart of a clipper that's going to be spreading some light snow throughout southern Manitoba through the day. Environment and Climate Change Canada estimates about 2 to 5 centimeters worth. We'll deal with cloudy skies and, believe it or not, mild temperatures. We're going to see that temperatures start to heat up to about minus 7 in Winnipeg, even warmer to the southwest with highs of minus 5. The southwesterly winds will also taper off into the afternoon, so a more pleasant day than this morning is giving any sort of hint to. Meanwhile, to the north, you've had some flurries to kick off the day. It will likely taper off throughout your Thursday, leaving behind cloudy skies. Seasonal temperatures in the mid-minus teens to upper-minus teens for areas in the northeast. Meanwhile, we're not totally done with the snow. It probably will taper off overnight in southern Manitoba as the temperature dips in Winnipeg to minus 19 and those winds ease. But into tomorrow, a second clipper brings some more snowfall, lighter, about 1 to 2 centimeters worth, and some cooler temperatures come in behind it into the weekend. We're going to take a break. I need to warm up, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids, proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Safety advocates are reminding everyone to be careful when putting up Christmas decorations, especially when using a ladder. Nearly 500 people in BC end up in hospitals every year, and experts say it can be prevented. CTV's Sinjin Alexander has some timely advice.
This is one of the most memorable scenes from Christmas Vacation, likely because the audience can relate. In the rush to get it all done, it's never as easy as it looks.
I pushed the stuff, then I fell down with the ladders. Yeah.
Now, of course, when someone falls in real life, it's not funny. Just ask Alan Wang. On a ladder, loading parcels, he suddenly tipped back and broke both wrists.
I can clearly hear my bomb is cracked.
That's why WorkSafe and Preventable Injuries have teamed up. Whether putting up lights or on the job, make sure you're using the right ladder and using it properly.
Are there overhead power lines where you'll be working? Is the surface flat? Is it icy? Is it slippery? So that might be an icy substrate if you're in northern BC or in the Kootenays or anywhere in the province where it's icy right now.
Inspect the equipment. Is it in good shape? Check the markings. Can it handle the weight? And when climbing, maintain 3 points of contact.
2 feet and 1 hand, or 2 hand, 1 feet.
Last year, WorkSafe dealt with 876 ladder claims. More than 300 were especially serious. Wang's advice? Take your time and make a plan.
You need a helper. You cannot do it by yourself. Most of people, they just doing by themselves. They think it's very easy. Put the ladders here, climb there, then doing decoration. It's not good.
And of course, make sure the weather is good and there's plenty of light. Their final piece of advice? Ask yourself, do you really need a ladder? Or is there a safer way to finish your festive masterpiece? St. John Alexander, CTV News, Richmond.
The Winnipeg Repair, Education and Cycling Hub, otherwise known as Wrench, repairs and refurbishes old bikes and makes them new again. Wrench also teaches people how to repair their own bicycles. The program provides affordable bikes to the community while empowering others with skills they need to repair their own. At this time of year, Wrench puts on a special holiday event called Cycle of Giving. It's been doing it for the past 15 years. Joining us now from Wrench is the Executive Director, Meryl Grant. Good morning, Meryl.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us a little bit about the impact Wrench has had on the community since its inception.
We have given away thousands of bikes and made them affordable to people throughout Winnipeg and surrounding areas. And we also really empower people to embrace cycling and bike mechanics as a way to build skills and the knowledge they need to keep riding bikes and also feel really great about it.
You're also helping to keep some of these bikes out of the landfill.
Absolutely. So the majority of the materials we use in the bikes we refurbish and repair are diverted from the waste stream, either through donations or our partnerships with the city landfills. And those bikes provide the materials to do what we do.
And then what's incredible is not only are you perhaps getting an affordable bike, but you're also learning how to keep your bike on the road.
Absolutely. The bicycles that we provide are also, they're checked over by us so people can be sure that they're getting something that's safe to ride at an unbeatable price, or in many cases for free.
Okay, you brought a little bike with you here, which is super cute, but you do how many of these kinds of bikes per year, let's say?
So for children's bikes, we give out hundreds, probably over 800 to 900 every year. And we make them available through community giveaways and other events.
This is like something kids love to see under the Christmas tree, right?
Absolutely. And throughout the whole year, these bicycles represent also a way for families to keep their kids active and provide a lot of those skills that really go far in life.
That's cool. Okay, so what's happening on Saturday?
So starting Saturday at noon, we have an event called the Cycle of Giving, and Cycle of Giving is on its 15th year. And it's a 24-hour kids bike build-a-thon where over 100 volunteers repair and fix up kids' bikes just like the one with us here.
Yeah.
And then we give those to our community partners, and they make sure they get to the families that need them.
What sort of impact does this have on children when they get a bike, or a teenager even, when they receive a bike like this?
Well, it's independence, and it's also a way to understand the community around you and engage with your neighbors, the streets around you, and sort of what the area you live in. And it's a way that also builds like a feeling of good and independence.
Absolutely. Okay, so on Saturday, people are welcome to check this out. Tell us a little bit about what they can expect to see there.
Yeah. So throughout the event, over 100 volunteers will come together and fix bikes, and you're welcome to pop by and see what we do. We don't just have volunteers fixing bikes, we also have volunteers cleaning them, putting reflectors on, making sure that they're safe to go, and even serving volunteers food and refreshments through the whole event.
So you do need support. What do you want from the public right now?
So we always are looking for donations, whether it's bikes, bike parts, or cash donations. All those help us really do what we do. Not just at Cycle of Giving, but through the whole year.
Awesome. Meryl, thank you so much for sharing this with us. If you do want more info, we do have a link on our website.
Those hitting the pavement on the bike today might want to add a couple extra layers because it's quite chilly on the commute. Minus 15 degrees, that wind chill making it feel more like minus 28. We've got some flurries flying out there, folks, being whipped around by strong southerly winds, pressure falling. Humidity sits at 81%. So yes, we are contending with another clipper spreading about 2 to 5 centimeters worth of snowfall through southern Manitoba today. You can see it's already kind of drifting into the southeast, but likely it will fall off and on overnight, maybe tapering off slightly for a few hours, but for the most part it's going to be a snowy Thursday. Temperatures above seasonal, or at seasonal, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Haven't been able to say this for a couple of days, minus 7 degrees, and those very strong southerly winds will taper into the afternoon and shift out of the northwest. Overnight, cloudier skies, temperatures dip to minus 13, and tomorrow another clipper, bringing a couple centimeters of snowfall, a high of minus 11 before those temperatures fall off into the weekend. We're going to take a break, but your videos of the day still to come on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
We kick things off with the Need for Speed. This is not the right video. So why don't we just skip to this? This 8-year-old prefers to sing and bake with his mom when school is canceled. He loves the 80s. His name is Ernie, which is obvious as he belts out Starship's hit, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Got the high notes, I'll give him that. It's pretty good.
Now to a great time while driving the speed limit. The best part of a road trip is the music. These two look like they're loving the song that's playing in the car and are dancing like no one's watching, even though the car behind them is definitely watching and recording.
I would never want eyes on me when I'm belting it out in the car. It's pretty embarrassing.
Well, at least they're using their turn signal.
That's true. They're being safe.
Responsible drivers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's safe, though, but whatever.
Unclear. Are they going the speed limit? We don't know these details.
I wish I knew what they were listening to.
I know.
It must
Looks like they're enjoying it, though.
That does it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.